I'm a little upset. Looked like an insect bit me right there. It's up there in the garage. It could have been a little spider or something. But it's an amazing thing what people pay attention to at times. And, there's certain things that we deem a problem. And that's the reason why I made kind of cryptic statements the other day. But I think if you understand where I was going with persecution and, you understand defense and different things like that, it's just good to be on the right side of those things. And to just, like, if you don't want to be around people, don't be around people. But if you do happen to have to be around people, try to show everybody love. The exact same type of love. Don't be partial in it, because everybody needs it. And there's going to be different people that pervert it. I don't care if that's where your mind goes. I mean, if you want to stay in that mindset, you're going to end up in hell anyways. But the point of the matter is, we got to show everybody the same type of love and grace. And by that, I mean just showing, like, the same way you would treat somebody with prestige, a celebrity. Like, for instance, if I, and I'm sure I will at some point, but happen to come across some of the celebrities that, I've been connected with on social media in some type of way, I'm not going to treat them different than different people from my hometown, than the homeless man that I would see on the street. I judge everybody, as I've said, in case-by-case basis. And it's unfortunate that I've been made out to be the type of person that people want to assume that I am. And so, those are some things that I have to live with. That's part of my persecution. That's part of my testimony and different things. And as I've said, God has always shown me that in some type of way he was going to use me in the end times, whether it was... I remember I seen a vision of me sitting on a hill and talking to people. Now, people would be like, again, he's trying to exalt himself like Christ. Like, I can't help what God put in a vision for me, because that's not something that I seen myself. Football was my life. Football was my everything. And when I had to give it up in stages, eventually, as I said earlier, I thought I would be coaching. But, I had to move away from something that I love. And it was hard. But I did it for the right reasons, because I had to adjust to having a son. And I wanted to be there for his mother. And it was a new thing for me, and so I didn't want to be in between that. I felt like in a way that was showing sacrifice, but not being patient enough, not seeing an example of that. I made mistakes in that relationship that I shouldn't have. But since then, I've grown, and yet different things had happened, several years back, and, it hurt me to an extent, but I still wasn't doing certain nuanced things right. Even though it was something in my heart that I desired, it was certain things that I had to give up, such as pornea and different things like that. Now, I'm glad God has worked on me with certain things. And so at later points, I will share my testimony again with that. And hopefully it gives, people a deeper understanding of just where I was and why I talked about those things the way that I did. But, just enduring all these things from trial to trial to trial to trial. Like I said, come out of one thing to the next almost over the last 5 years. And it's almost like, it's disappointing to me, but it feels like people are trying to rob me of getting to the place where God is trying to take me, just because of something that they feel like I may be keeping from them, or that I'm trying to keep from them. And it's amazing we pay attention to those things, but we got different things happening behind the scenes. And I was like, I've been looked at the problem no matter what the situation has been since my time online. And so for me to fold now would be me quitting everything that I've been through. People feel like me giving up on certain things for a period of time and whatever. And like I've seen different things play out, and I can live with all my decisions. But people think me separating from them and different things was me being mean or doing certain things. Like, no, I was trying to maintain my peace and trying to stay focused and linear, because I know I'm the only person besides God that knows how many battles I've been continually enduring. And so, just the narrative out there about who I am, who I've been trying to become, like I said, different things that I've practiced, different things that I believe in, different things that I would do to bring harm to people, different things that I'm saying now. It's interesting how I'm saying certain things, but I am not the creator of the content that I'm being accused of slandering somebody over. It's interesting. But I'm saying we pay attention to those things, but you got warships being bombed. You got people being beheaded, people being shot in the back of the head. You got people being raped, people being murdered. All these different things going on, and people just see me. And people think it's arrogant that I keep going. No, I see at the end of the day that everything that I've been through, no matter what, people have been trying to stop me from something. And so regardless of what happens, I'm not going to allow that to happen. Whatever God needs me to do, I'm going to stick around and do that. But until then, if something I do offends you, the person that want to cut somebody, that side would say, pluck out your eye. But what I would say is, like, you can either, like, remove yourself from viewing what I'm viewing, or believe why I said I may have even came across the stuff in the first place, and why I even keep certain people around. Part of it is because of my love for these individuals. I've seen certain things over the years about these people, and so it's hard for me to not support them in some type of way. And in a huge way, I'm grieved at myself for how I've handled one particular situation. Well, actually a couple of particular situations, but especially with some of the entertainers who have been helping me out. Like, this guy's been giving me laughs since the pandemic. But, and I don't want to just say a woman, but in this case, that's what it is, because legally, it's nothing more than that. A woman made me get in my feelings and say certain things to this man because I was coming to her defense. And that's not what she wanted. And I didn't understand that. But me saying those things made me look like I'm trying to hate on this person. No. It was just certain things that I noticed that were being done. And I'm not trying to isolate this individual, because it's many individuals, but I'm isolating this individual in this moment because I actually love and care about this person. If I didn't care, I probably wouldn't address him. I probably would have just let it go. But I cared. And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm not trying to win people over. Like, I don't care if people honestly figure out who I really am, because I know that it's been hidden for a reason. If I'm having trouble with people that's been close to me and they're having trouble diagnosing certain things that's wrong with me, or even come and talking to me, or understanding me in a certain way. Like, why would I expect strangers to, especially strangers that, unless they're in communication with God, and one thing, God, the important thing about lying is you don't want to lie about things because you don't want to throw people's discernment off. But my job is not to be validated in the court of public opinion. So people trying to get me to voice a message or anything to a broad group of people who clearly, like I said, I've had at least 10,000 views for at least 24 straight months. Every month, 10,000 people on the outside looking in. And I know it's been different people. It's been kings. It has been presidents. It has been different people. And I'm like, all of this over posting Bible scripture, being biblically accurate with this stuff. All of this over exposing some things. And I put myself on the forefront. And any warfare I was willing, I understood at a certain point that it's my fault because I put myself out there. But I'm willing to endure it. And so because of my endurance and because I can see me pushing through and knowing that at the end, like, I wouldn't go through all of this for no reason. It's just like playing a game. Like, even if I'm losing bad, let me get to the finish line. Let me lose with my dignity. Don't end the game before, let me lose with my dignity. If you're going to blow me out, blow me out. But I'm going to fight to come back, period. Don't try to end my game before God ends it. And if I was this evil, think about it. Consistently, from group to group, people have been accusing me of different things. If I wasn't repentant, if I wasn't trying to do better, if my heart wasn't even in a direction of trying to do right, do you think I would still be here after everything, well, number one, that I've actually done, but everything that people say that I do and say that I am? Like, that's what burns me up more than anything. And to be quite honest, it would still be hard, and not that individual, because I do love that individual, but other people who do things with the direct intention to assassinate another person's character. Like, I wouldn't have problems, and believe me, I'm a problem, but I got to understand that I cannot move in that way because that's exactly what the enemy wants. And I'm glad I was able to see that guy's testimony where he let those people jumping, because I've been to the point to where I could not imagine letting that happen. I couldn't imagine being a Stephen. But people accuse me of so many different things, but not being able to endure. Like, if imagine you being me for a second, and you got everybody saying whatever, whatever it may be. How would you be able to endure it? This would let me know that I'm special, and it's not to be arrogant, but why would the devil feel the need to kick somebody that's on his side, number one, or number two, that is at a place that, I'm not saying I'm not at a good place. I'm not at the place where I see myself, and I also know in my heart that where God sees me. And so, in realizing that all these attacks wasn't for no reason, and I'm not giving up my seat for nobody, especially people who can't confront me straightforward. And so going forward, the love that I show to people is genuine. If you feel like it's something behind it, it is what it is, but I'm not keeping nobody around. I don't make nobody like my videos. I post regardless of what people say and what people think. I can be funny, obviously. I can have a heart with things. Like, I can be compassionate. But I'm serious. I'm a warrior. And there are certain things that people have said about me, certain things people have said about my family, that if a guy wasn't really with me, I would be completely and utterly savage towards people. But I'm grateful that God is still working on me, and that my hope is in Him and not the court of public opinion. Peace.